All right. As everyone knows, the Olympics isn't just about sports, it's also about fashion,
Especially when it's in Paris.
especially when it's in Paris. And to help me sort through it and talk about it, I invited Mr. Frank Judd, who had a very hit episode last time. It almost broke the internet to talk about the Olympics, fashion, and a whole lot more. Welcome
Love
to
it.
the show, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me back.
Let's start at the top.
Okay.
Ralph Lauren. Everyone knows you're a huge Ralph Lauren fan. They've had the
I am.
contract with the Olympic Committee for 20 some odd years.
Yep.
Talk to me about opening ceremony, Ralph Lauren, and their current design.
Sure. So 9th Olympic event where they are outfitting, Team USA. I think a lot of people are kind of probably complaining-ish that it looks very similar to what they've done in the past. I feel like it represents modernity in American culture, specifically American fashion. Like, we're not going to be the most out there in your face. Americans are a little bit more, believe it or not, like tied down when it comes to fashion or laid back a little bit. I'm a huge fan of the structured, well-fitted sports coat.
Yes.
The striped blue shirt tucked in, and then you got jeans, right? Because there's that casual, laissez-faire aspect of American culture where it's a look that, to me, you can elevate or kind of bring down if you need to. So I'm a huge fan of it, obviously.
What do you think was missed? So one of the things that people were complaining on, obviously the most important platform, X, which is probably all bots, but they were complaining about the boats. So you didn't get to see a lot of the fashion because people were, tucked away and the boat took a lot of weight. Did it make a big difference?
I mean, not to me, right? Because I think to see how they interpreted something different, right? Using something like the Seam River, which for them is, such a staple in their culture, and to do something a little different than your traditional in a stadium kind of walkabout, it didn't bother me as much. I do understand kind of some people because, how long are you going to watch a boat kind of go through? It kind of got a little boring. So I can see that. But I think being in the moment as an athlete, I would think that was an extremely cool experience.
Now, as I understand it, today you brought a list of the the outfits that you liked and the outfits you didn't like.
I did.
Well, let's go through it. Let's rip right into, who you like and who really missed the mark.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, okay, let's take Ralph Lauren off the side, right? My top 5, Haiti. Haiti, to me, is a huge standout.
Wow.
I think if you look at the tailoring, you look at what they were wearing. You're talking about pants that were drawn by a Haitian artist. So very abstract, very colorful. And then you kind of have the tops. The men were wearing kind of like guayaberas.
Yeah,
if you want to look at it that way. But the women were in these like super structured, but kind of avant-garde type of outfits as well. I think stylistically nailed it. For me, Mongolia. Really.
Who knew? Who knew Mongolia had fashion?
Tailored to perfection. You could tell that there was a rich history of honoring that culture, but kind of creating something still chic, still elegant. Sri Lanka, for me, very similar too, right? When you look at the details, you look at the silk, the embroidery, and the level of craftsmanship that went into that was incredible to me. Honestly, Nigeria. If we're gonna go with cool, sleek, modern, like athleisure wear, I think of all the outfits that people walked out in, like, I want that, right? Like, I want to buy it. I want to work out in it. I thought incredible. And then lastly, I liked Canada. Maybe I'm a Lululemon fiend, if you will. But very much in line with, I think, their aesthetic. It looked wearable. It looked like something that you'd want to compete in. Yeah. And it kind of had obviously...
Surprised none of the European countries in your list.
Well, they're in the I didn't like list.
Wow. Let's jump into that.
Well, yeah, let's start with France.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Dior, huge fan.
Yeah.
I think Dior had big moments throughout the opening ceremonies, and it was not that of what they walked in on. I mean, I think they looked like flight attendants that forgot their sleeves, or maybe in a turbulent experience lost their sleeves. It didn't give me France.
Yeah.
I thought it was a wasted opportunity, quite frankly. Great Britain and Ben Sherman, I thought was so boring.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, so the first aspect of it, maybe it was stylistically not worn right, because their undershirt was kind of cool. I'd wear it. It wasn't giving me like I'm Great Britain at the Olympic events.
Right.
So not a big fan there. And then really lastly, did not like Australia.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, again, they look like school kids. Like, we're just going to be in the schoolyard. I'm going to be in my cute little skirt and my sports coat, but like ill-fitted. So like, again, when we talk sports coat, a lot of them did it. But when you look at Team USA and you look at how it's fitted to each of their bodies,
they look sharp.
I think that's the differentiating factor for me.
Absolutely. two performances and you're a big fan, Celine Dion and Lady Gaga.
Yes.
Give me your thoughts on the performance.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone can argue with me, quite frankly, about Celine not owning the entirety of the moment, right? Yeah. I think she was the moment. She is the moment. She really take what she's going through aside, it was still just the perfect way to end that opening ceremony, in my opinion, right? She's basically glittering in white, custom Dior, on top of the Eiffel Tower,
right?
Kind of looking at everyone right at the end and singing a song about a woman who kind of lost the love of her life.
Yeah.
Which is very much something that I haven't heard. So, I mean, I think vocally incredible. Yeah. I think just the sheer emotion aspect of it, I mean, for me, it was perfection. I think Lady Gaga gave you kind of a look into French culture. I think some people are a little, mixed reviews about it. It's campy. It's French.
It was tape delayed too, right?
It was, but she looked phenomenal. She was in her element. I mean, anyone who's seen Lady Gaga in Vegas in her jazz show, I mean, it was giving that.
Really?
Also decked in Dior, which I thought stylistically was perfection.
Who do you think, predictions, becomes a big star after this Olympics? So after every Olympics, whether it's, this swimmer out of Baltimore and then it becomes Michael Phelps and so on and so on. Who's the stars of this Olympics?
Maybe I'm biased, but for me, it's still Simone Biles. Yeah. I think, she's got probably a little more to prove than anybody else. I mean, you got Suni Lee, who's still trying to defend an all-around championship too. And this is the first time actually two former all-around champions are competing for an all-around championship. So for me, that's really exciting. But even if you want to talk swimming, right, you had Husk, right, go and beat Welsh, which I thought everyone the whole time, even as if you look back, even the announcers are like Welsh, and then out of nowhere, Husk comes in and kind of swoops the win. So have America gold, silver. But those are kind of who I follow. As I watch.
Celebrity stealing the show. Thoughts on Snoop Dogg? He has taken the headlines the last couple days.
I think Snoop deserves every bit of Olympic success he's getting. Right? He's fun to watch. He's
likable as hell.
Super likable. Yeah. I think he's having fun with it. And so because he's having fun with it, you're having fun with it.
Yeah.
I almost can't remember an Olympics without him. And I kind of feel like that's the kind of mark of someone who's going to be great.
If I would have told you in the 90s that Snoop would be the darling of the Olympics and in every picture globally, I mean, the guy is a marketing genius. I have to give him a ton of credit. One of the other things that I've noticed, sort of call it the influencer culture of the fashion in the Olympics. And I'll give you an example, watches, right? Sure. So what watches were, and then all of a sudden you go on IG and it's just a bunch of 30-second clips. LeBron was wearing this watch, so-and-so was wearing that watch. The brands and going to just, giving somebody something and then the influencers just firing up the machine. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's a global stage.
Yeah.
Right? So all eyes are on you.
Right.
I'm it's the easiest. I mean, even now, if you look at between TikTok and Instagram, all the athletes are just showing you just what's in their goodie bags, the things that they're getting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so as a fan, so to speak, you're watching this and you're like, man, that's cool. I want that. I want a piece of that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just an easy way for brands to kind of market themselves because who doesn't want to see an athlete kind of go through the stuff that they're getting? Yeah,
and the amount of eyeballs, by the way, it's free other than sponsored. But Simone posts on this XYZ about new shoes, new hair, whatever. It's pretty remarkable. Okay, short episode, so I have to give you some some quick hit rapid fire questions. Ready?
Okay.
Yay or nay, Crocs?
Nay.
One designer that you would pick to replace Ralph Lauren as the representative for the U.S.
Christopher Rogers.
Christopher Rogers. Okay. Is it okay to wear flip-flops on planes?
I mean, I wouldn't. Why do I want my feet out in an environment where everyone is stuck with me? But does it bother me when someone else does it? No, I wouldn't say less of you, but I'd be probably just pedicure your feet. Because people are going to look.
Your solution is just a pedicure. It's disgusting.
But I would not.
Okay. Everyone knows you're a big Green Bay Packers fan. Jordan Love just signed a huge contract, and he's only had a good half a season. Are you happy with the move?
I mean, I'm happy just because I like seeing a team double down on someone, right? And so this is the Green Bay Packers telling you, this is our quarterback. We have all the faith in this. So as a fan, I'm getting behind that, right? So Listen, I think it's great that I think now has, I mean, some people will argue that he doesn't have an incentive enough because like now you're guaranteeing him like all this money. Yeah. I disagree with that, right? Because at the end of the day, he still has to earn it. So do you want this to be a short-lived thing, or do you want to kind of feel like you're taking this team and being like the Batman and the Superman that we need?
Yeah.
So doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you.
Yeah,
okay.
It makes me feel a little bit more confident, I would say, in him, because they clearly see something in him and he's performing in a way that, showcases that we could get this.
He was awesome last year. I mean, at the end of the year, he was one of the best quarterbacks. Yeah, super surprised. Okay.
Zero expectations going into last season.
All right, we huge controversy here at Inktel. We almost broke the internet, and for fans of the show, the TikTok and digital clip that got the most hits was Frank's comments related to cologne and how much cologne you should apply. Mm-hmm. So let's go back.
Okay.
In our interview, you said up to 24 sprays in a morning before you go to work. Do you still stand by that?
Absolutely. Remember, I layer.
You layer. Okay, so talk to me about layering. What exactly is layering?
Yeah, so I would say 9 out of 10 times I'm layering 2 fragrances, right? Okay. In the fragrance world, some people think that that's like the worst thing you could do because there's masterpieces. Why would you ruin it? For me, it's about finding scents that kind of play off of each other and create something so unique that I don't want my scent necessarily replicated, right? Some people worry about, oh my God, am I wearing the same outfit as somebody else? I worry about someone's going to smell like me. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. So for me, when I think of layering, I have to apply a certain amount of it so that both get to play with each other in a way that tells me, all right, this is good or bad. So minimally 10 to 12 of one, minimally 10 to 12 of the other. I mean, sometimes it goes to 30. I mean, it just really depends.
30. All right. So time out. The layering process, I'm interested in the process. Is it like you spray it in the exact same spot? Like, or you give it a breathe, like you spray, you wait a minute, you spray the other, like what's the process?
Yeah. So for me, it's always about what do I want baseline to smell like that day, right? So right out of the shower, it's still a little, I hate to use the word moist, but still a little wet.
Okay.
And I'll apply the first layer of what I really fundamentally want to smell that day. Mm-hmm. I let that kind of do its dry down as I get ready. My hair takes about 5 to 6 minutes. I get dressed.
I thought it'd take more than that.
But no. I get dressed, but like, for example, if I'm wearing like an open or a button-down shirt, I'll leave it open.
Okay.
Right? So that when I apply the second layer, sometimes it goes in and around the same areas, but it's more, I want to smell both.
Yeah.
But I don't apply the second one until I feel like the first layer has truly had an opportunity to dry down-ish. Because again, I'll start to feel do I want more patchouli? Do I want more vanilla? Do I want more, iris, whatever? And then that's kind of where I'll apply the second layer.
Wow, that is fascinating, and we will break the internet with that with that last part, layering.
This is a new term. Some people layer it down to like the lotions they wear, the body oils that they put on before, after. I just do it with fragrance.
I think our next podcast, we're going to talk about foul fashion, but we will talk about layering.
Yeah.
And the layering process. And I had no idea that there's this thing called layering.
It's an art.
It's an art. Frank, thanks for coming on the show and keeping everybody in the loop on fashion in the Olympics. And maybe we'll circle back in a couple of weeks after the Olympics is done.
Sure. No, absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.